Hey, what's up guys? Andy with Empire Contractors here. What we're talking about today is learning something new. I see on a lot of roofing forums where guys, they show a picture of a system that they did, or that's the first time or second time doing the system, and it's got some mistakes. It's got some wrinkles in it, or it isn't the most beautiful looking roof aesthetically, or maybe they made a mistake and they had to go back and make it right with the customer, and they're standing behind their product, but for whatever reason the project didn't flow efficiently, and it was because it was their first one. And then in the comments I will see people say, you shouldn't be doing it that way, you hack. You shouldn't be learning a roof on that kind of roof, and you shouldn't be practicing on a customer. And I just gonna have to say, there's a lot of big time contractors, that's how they learned. They dived into a project, they learned how to do it, they got as much information in front, and then they just dived in. And are you going to make some mistakes on that very first PVC project you did, or that very first coating project that you do? Well, of course you're going to. You're going to make mistakes, but you can't let that stop you. You're just going to have to follow up with the customer. Sometimes you get the manufacturer involved. Anytime we do a roofing project for the first time, a new type of product, or a new we did this when we did Decker shingles for the first time years ago. We invited the manufacturer to come and show us what to do. Standing seam, we invited the manufacturer, or we go to the manufacturer and take training. And a lot of times we order materials to come to our shop ahead of time, a few weeks ahead of time, and then we let the guys play around with the materials and just mess around with them in the shop to get a feel for what the product is like before we actually go out on the job and install it. So learn something new, guys. This isn't just for installation. This is also for the marketing that you want to do and you've never done, or maybe learning how to control your finances, or learning how to hire good employees. You got to learn how to do it, and it doesn't come naturally. So when you're stepping out into something new and you haven't learned it before, just remind yourself, at one time when you were young, maybe 1 year, 1.5 years old, you learned how to walk. This funny thing about babies when they learn how to walk is they don't sit there on the ground and are discouraged because they can't walk, or they're afraid they're going to fail. The funny thing about babies is they don't know anything about failure. They don't think they can fail. They don't think far enough ahead to know that it's possible they could fail. So they just keep trying. And as a parent, you're on the other end like, come on, you can do it, you can do it. And they have that positive motivation and that positive reinforcement, but failure is not even on their radar. It doesn't occur to them that they could fail. Let's take it a step forward and talk about riding a bike. When you're a lot of people learn to ride a bike between 6 and 10 years old, and then we start realizing that this is something we could fail at. We could fall down and get bruised. But what's the ratio of the kids that they don't ride a bike because they're afraid? Very, very few. Many people end up riding a bike because they ended up realizing that the benefits of riding the bike outweigh the negatives of maybe getting a few scrapes and bruises. So what do? We practice and we practice and we practice, and we usually have somebody there guiding the handlebar, motivating us, helping us, rooting us on and encouraging us. And eventually we learn how to ride a bike, right? And the third example is catching a ball or playing baseball. When I was in another country a few months ago, I remember watching an elderly lady. She was playing with the kids, and she was throwing a ball up in the air, and she could not catch the ball for the life of her. And it made me remember that, but catching a ball comes natural to me, even though I can't play baseball worth a crap, but I still can catch a ball, throw it up and catch a ball, and maybe even juggle it a few if I need to. But it's an acquired skill, and it doesn't just come naturally from when you're born. So if you need those skills to work on your marketing or installation of a new product or a new system, or learning how to control your finances or hiring new people, find a book. Maybe go on to Audible and get a book, or find a mentor that's already in that area, that's already excelled in that area, and ask him to mentor you. So that's my encouragement for you today, is to step out and learn. And usually you know what you need to learn because we're faced with it every day, what we're bad at, what we're constantly dropping the ball at. So grab that bull by the horns and learn something new today. And I want to exit by leaving you with a book, Richard Branson's Like a Virgin. You want to talk about somebody that struck out on his own and did something new all the time. This guy owns, I think, 400 plus companies now. But the biggest ones, you know, Virgin Airlines, Virgin Mobile, Virgin Records, and Virgin Records is really the one that got him started. He was a record label that he helped singers sign up as. But one day, at one time in his life, he started up an airline and he had no idea what he was doing. He bought some old airliners from a competing airline and really started from scratch and had no clue on what he was doing. But he found mentors and he found reading material to learn how to do it. So that's a good book to read, and it kind of shows how he struggled through it, but he's still come out a winner and he's very successful at what he does. So I encourage you to do the same thing. Step out, learn something new, get better at what you do. Thanks. Have a good day.